Today, we're at the John Fitzgerald Kennedy Memorial Park in Torrance, California. JFK is Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy's brother and Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.'s uncle.
What I think is quite clear is that we can work together in the last analysis, and that what has been going on within the United States over the period of the last 3 years, the divisions, the violence, the disenchantment with our society, the divisions, whether it's between blacks and whites, between the poor and the more affluent, or between age groups, or on the war in Vietnam, that we can start to work together. We are a great country and a selfish country and a compassionate country. And I intend to make that my basis for running and over the period of the next few months. My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
Ferris, why don't you jump up in front of us, Dave?
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? Senator Kennedy has been shot. He's been shot? That's right.
A doctor! We need a doctor right here. There's a microphone, please, immediately.
Okay, so let's fast forward to 1968. You're 14 years old at the time, and you're in boarding school at the Georgetown Preparatory School in Maryland. Your father, Bobby Kennedy, is running for the presidential nomination with the Democrats. And during this process, on June 5th, 1968, he was at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. As he was leaving the ballroom, he decided to go through the kitchen. And I guess his bodyguard, FBI agent Bill Barry, told him to avoid the kitchen because it was very crowded. As he was going through, shaking hands with everyone, a 24-year-old Palestinian man named Saran shot him with a .22 caliber revolver. He was hit 3 times. 5 other people were wounded as well. When you found out that your dad had gotten killed, what went through your mind?
Well, I didn't, first of all, I would dispute that description of what happened.
Okay.
I don't believe that Sirhan's bullets ever hit my father.
Okay.
And neither did the coroner, Thomas Noguchi, who is probably the most famous coroner in American history, who did an autopsy that is known as the perfect autopsy. He actually flew in the chief coroners of all the every branch of the military service to sit in the surgery theater to watch what he did because he knew what had happened in Dallas. And he didn't want to repeat. All of them were contact shots. That's what Thomas Noguchi found, meaning the barrel of the gun was either touching his skin or his clothing and was and left a carbon tattoo, or was close enough, within an inch, close enough to leave a carbon tattoo. And the gun was being held at an upward angle. So he was shot from behind by somebody who was standing behind him with the gun pressed between the two of them and firing. And that man was almost certainly Eugene Thane Cesar, who was a security guard who had been hired the day before. You know, I can't prove that my father was killed by the CIA. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence. And then, you know, there's a lot of other circumstantial evidence, and particularly with Sirhan's background and his trial, there's a lot of, and the cover-up. There was a lot of agency involvement.
Just like his father, RFK Jr. does not have a problem speaking truth to power.
The pharmaceutical industry is not a trustworthy industry. It's a criminal cartel. And I don't say that lightly. The 4 companies that make all of the vaccines, the 72 vaccines now mandated for our children, all of them in their other products have paid, I think, $79 billion in criminal penalties. They haven't paid anything with vaccines because vaccines are immune from liability.
And now CNN is trying to squeeze him out of the first presidential debate, rigging it against him.
Here is how they are getting RFK. Let's go to the next part, please. As you can see clearly, the Kennedy campaign has said he submitted 3,300 signatures in Minnesota on Friday, listed the states, 19 states with 278 electoral votes where he claims ballot access. But at least half of those states have not yet verified that his submission is valid.
The last time a third-party candidate was in a presidential debate was Ross Perot in 1992.
There will be a giant sucking sound going south.
This week's cartoon is about what if RFK Jr. was allowed on the debate stage with Trump and Biden.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do?
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through? A man who's...
What exactly is it you think you're doing, RFK Jr.?
It's called speaking truth to power. Not that you'd know anything about that.
No, I mean, why do you have me upside down? Look at me, I'm upside down! And nobody looks better than I do upside down, let me tell you.
I told you that if I were allowed on the debate stage that I would mop the floor with you, right after I broke Biden into 10 tiny pieces and then restacked him again in the corner. I stole that idea from Gavin O'Donnell.
Whatever, what do you know? A worm ate your brain.
You are a worm.
Here's the deal. My name's Bo Jiden and I'm running for president of the retirement home. I had a pet worm once and named him Hunter.
A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do?
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
And what dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that and say a prayer for our country and for our people. Thank you very much.